100 Wood has in store for customers.
The city makes another move at becoming more bike-friendly. The change is coming to downtown streets and bridges.
Celebrating cultures from around the world, right here in Pittsburgh. From food to music to crafts, Point News was there for it all. Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Hello and welcome to Point News. I'm Alexis Adams.
And I'm Mark Oliverio. The Osteria 100 vacancy has finally been filled.
100 Wood is now the new campus restaurant that filled the gap left on the first floor on Point Park University Frontier Hall. Point News reporter Kelsey Mitzger has more.
Pittsburgh culture meets Pittsburgh taste as 100 Wood is the newest restaurant to hit the 412.
I want them to be casual, fast service, everything made, scratch made to order.
Dennis Scott, the owner of 100 Wood, says he wants his customers to leave happy. Besides the laid-back atmosphere, Scott also says the restaurant uses locally sourced options as much as it can.
We really focused on using a lot of local breweries, a lot of local farms, a lot of local whiskey suppliers.
Scott says the restaurant at the corner of Wood Street and First Avenue has a little something for everyone. Customers can dine in or take out, have lunch or dinner, and if you aren't hungry for one of their burgers or brick oven pizzas, he plans to always have something special going on.
We'll be doing happy hour specials weekly. We'll drink certain drink specials, food specials during happy hour.
The idea is to make 100 Wood an option for everyone. Whether you live or work downtown or go to school nearby, Scott has even bigger plans for the future.
Hopefully to be here for 10 years at least. Get some live music here on the weekends, showcases, cabarets, poetry, improv, all of that.
Reporting for Point News, I'm Kelsey Metzger.
Students receive 10% off daily at 100 Wood, and nightly specials will also be available.
Big changes are coming to some of the city's busiest streets and bridges, but it's not drivers, but bicyclists who are the center of attention. Point News reporter James Hill was there as officials announced the newest plan to make Pittsburgh more bike-friendly.
The mayor, county executive, as well as other city and county officials were all on hand in front of the Andy Warhol Bridge to make the announcement.
And we're here to announce with our Public Works Department, the county's Public Works Department, that we're going to be providing some protected bike lanes, protected bike trails, connecting our bridges, connecting our trails back and forth.
One of the biggest changes will come on Penn Avenue downtown. From 17th Street in the Strip District to Stanwyck Street in town, Penn Avenue will be one way. New bike lanes are also coming to the 10th Street Bridge and the sister bridges connecting downtown to the North Shore. Well, the point of these bike lanes isn't just to make our city more safe, it's to connect the different sections. The new bike lanes across the Warhol, Clemente, and Rachel Carson Bridge are going to be able to connect the North Shore to downtown Pittsburgh, using the new Penn Avenue bike lanes to connect to the historic South Side and Station Square. Pittsburgh is already a city that's not only bike-friendly, but bike-connected. Just last year, the last part of the Great Allegheny Passage that connects Point State Park to Washington, D.C. was completed, and Mayor Peduto says these new trails will make our city even more connected to other major bike trails.
We start to put it together, and we utilize these bridges to connect the North Shore Trail to downtown and connect downtown to the Eliza Trail. We start to create networks, biking systems that will work to get people not just from one point to another, but to be able to get people all throughout the city of Pittsburgh.
All of the new bike lanes will have buffer zones to protect bicyclists from cars and trucks. And the mayor says while some bus lanes had to be rerouted, the changes are minimal.
Higher taxes were the talk of Grant Street earlier this week when Mayor Bill Peduto announced the city's 2015 budget. The $505 million budget includes a real estate tax increase. The mayor says the tax hike will generate $8 million in additional revenue and should cost the average homeowner about an extra $40 a year. The new budget is still pending city council approval.
The city of Pittsburgh has a new police chief. 56-year-old Cameron McClay was appointed by Mayor Bill Peduto earlier this month. McClay is a former Madison, Wisconsin captain and consultant. McClay will replace the city's former chief, Nathan Harper, who was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Mayor Peduto says he's counting on McClay to bring a new culture to the force.
In Wisconsin, he's a veteran of 35 years. He's a cop's cop, and trained and expert in martial arts. 28 years with SWAT and 10 years as command. But he's also a guy who helped to create one of the most forward-thinking, community-oriented policing models in the country. And what I think he'll bring to us is an ability to work within the Bureau to restore morale within the police officers themselves, and also to rebuild the trust within the community, which needs to happen as well.
Still pending City Council approval, McClay began his duties as acting chief on Monday, September 15th.
This semester, a new professor is holding the title of faculty chair in the School of Communication. Multimedia and broadcast professor Tom Baggerman has taken over the reins. Professor Baggerman has been teaching at Point Park for 4 years and was selected by the administration for the position. He is in charge of all internal working for the department and is pushing for some new changes.
We're working on guided curricula for our freshmen. So that's the first thing we're doing. They will know every class they need to take for all 4 years and when they need to take it.
Make a checklist, take it with you in the field every time.
The construction in front of Academic Hall is about to wrap up. Third Avenue has been closed for about a month while crews have been working to replace 4 broken power lines. A city sewage connection line had collapsed earlier this year, damaging the lines. Duquesne Light said no service was ever interrupted and the repair was solely for safety reasons. The subject is 70% finished and will be completed in the next few weeks. Returning students are noticing a major change in Lawrence Hall this semester. Over the summer, construction crews finished the job of turning the former dance studio on the 2nd floor into a new student lounge. The lounge, which sits next to the skywalk, has all new furniture and decorations. Designers hope the open layout eases the congestion near the elevators.
Pennsylvania lawmakers gathered in Harrisburg to propose a change in the state's laws concerning hate crime. The law would now extend protection to include sexual orientation and gender identity. After lawmakers made their pitch for the legislation, bill sponsor State Senator Jim Furlow made a surprise announcement. He said, quote, "Hundreds of people know I'm gay. I just never made an official declaration. I never felt I had to wear a billboard on my forehead. But I'm gay. Get over it. I love it. It's a great life." End quote. The senator's announcement makes him the state's first openly gay sitting lawmaker. He will not run for re-election in November.
The search continues today for the man suspected of ambushing 2 state troopers, killing one of them. Authorities believe they spotted 31-year-old Eric Frine several times in the woods in Monroe County, but say he's been keeping himself far enough away that police think he may be taunting them.
The United States took the fight to Islamic extremist group ISIS. This week, in coordination with the Middle East allies, airstrikes have come in waves against multiple ISIS strikes. Prime Minister David Cameron says he expects the United Kingdom to become involved in the airstrikes as well.
Coming up on Point News, the start of fall is almost feeling like summer. Your weekend weather outlook is just ahead.
The Strip District gives Pittsburghers a chance to travel the world, the event that put the world on display right here in the city.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't stop. Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
To me, freedom of speech means there are no barriers to voice opinions. Communication is key to a functioning society and relationships in those societies. I believe our forefathers gave us this right, so if concerns or problems arise, we have the right to respectively use words, aids, and body language to give our message. Compromise may not always be met, but when it does meet, it opens up the world to new ideas, relationships, and makes the world become a happier place.
Thousands of people came out earlier this month to celebrate the Strip District World Festival.
It was an event to remember traditional culture and showcase new ideas and businesses. Point News reporter Quinn Lima tours the festival and talks to the city vendors.
I'm at the Strip District World Cultural Festival, where Pittsburgh's melting pot combines traditional with new. Vendors from all over Pittsburgh came down to showcase their food, music, and crafts. While children enjoyed face painting, adults tasted cultural specialties, including spices and world cheeses. What's your favorite thing about the World Cultural Festival, the Strip District World Cultural Festival?
I would just say bringing all the people down to the Strip District. It's nice to see and gives an excuse for everybody to come down.
So this year, actually, this is the first year we participated, and we have jazz music, vendors, we have gaming, and a part of it was to bring the city into the Strip. You know, we felt like this, what we call the upper end of the Strip, doesn't get enough attention. So we worked with Sal at Big Day Weddings. He put together an event, and we wanted to bring diversity to the Strip. We wanted to bring all different types of music, from rock to reggae to jazz.
As you can see, the Strip District World Cultural Festival is tasty, hot, and fun. 2015 plans to be even bigger than ever. This is Quinn Lima signing off for Point News.
Still to come on Point News, fall is officially here. See what that will mean for your weekend weather.
The Pirates punched their ticket to the playoffs for the second year in a row. Headlines from the Pirates and Steelers coming up next on Point News.
Here at the Pioneers sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs. Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I had a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the
Could you
questions?
just, like,
It's always a
answer me
question.
what's
It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine.
Blaine! Blaine!
Freshman, you can't find any good ones anymore.
Do you know all the things you can do with your student ID? Along with getting discounts to some of the restaurants around campus. Showing your Point Park ID can net you deals on tickets at theaters in the Cultural District. To check out all the current options, just search Student Discounts on the Point Park University homepage.
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship and a freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
The Downtown Farmers Market in Market Square is in its 10th season and is even bigger and better than ever.
As many as 25 weekly vendors are showcased every Thursday. from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The diverse market vendors vary from fresh-cut flowers and produce to beeswax, candles, all-natural vegetarian dog treats, and fudge.
How many different varieties of fudge do you make?
On a regular basis, 12, but then we accidentally.
To 10,000 visitors. There are also free live concerts from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
It's only autumn, but Pennsylvania is already thinking about snow. And there's big news coming in today for every student in Pennsylvania. When it comes to snow days, the State Board of Education will allow districts to hold classes via the internet. Students might not like the thought of having to do classwork at home on a snow day, but the good news is they won't have to make up those snow days which impact holidays and summer vacation. School districts must meet 22 criteria in order to participate. No word on who might apply for this pilot program.
It was hard to miss the supermoon hanging over Pittsburgh earlier this month. The supermoon refers to the moon coming to its closest point to Earth. While it's in its fullest phase, Pittsburghers flocked to Mount Washington to catch a glimpse. The pods high above downtown offered unobstructed views, while the night sky wowed amateurs. Expert Louise Coben of the Allegheny Observatory explains the supermoon isn't really that super.
So what happens is you have the moon sometimes getting a little bit closer to the Earth than at other times. So like, for instance, the nearest approach is called perigee, and when it's at its furthest point, it's called apogee. So the difference between the two is an exceedingly small amount. It's like 12%.
Just whip it out. You can call, text, look anything up.
Yeah, you got guys looking crazy.
People were able to view the supermoon 3 times in just 3 months.
Fall is officially here, so is colder weather in store? James Hill is here with the answers. James, how are the skies looking tonight?
Well, hey, Mark, yeah, fall came pretty quickly, actually, and even though we're already in it, we're going to get one more last dose of summer weather before we go. Today, we're actually looking at it was only 59 when we woke up about 8 a.m., but we're going to have a high of about 75 by the time the day gets through. Considering how chilly of a fall we've been how chilly of a summer we've been having, that's some pretty good weather. Looking towards your weekend forecast, we're going to actually have on Friday coming up, we're going to have a high of 79 and a low of 54, and it's going to be partly cloudy with a small chance of precipitation. Saturday, we're going to have a high of 81 and a low of 55, so that's going to be one of those last more tastes of summer weather before we really get into the deep next fall. On Sunday, we're going to go up to 82, one more than 81, which is a pretty good time considering that this time of year, we average about in the mid-70s. Even though fall's officially here, we're going to have a couple more dose of summer before we really get into the deep of it, guys.
The Pirates are headed back to Bucktober. In the final week of the season, the Pirates have clinched a playoff spot for the 2nd year in a row. It'll be a tight race to the end to see if the Bucks can take the division title from the St. Louis Cardinals. To finish out the season, the Pirates will face the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. A familiar face is back on the roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The team re-signed linebacker James Harrison this week, hoping he can fill the void after several key defensive players went down with injuries against Carolina Panthers. Harrison, who's 36, retired less than 3 weeks ago as a Pittsburgh Steeler. He spent the 2013 season with the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. Thank you
Thanks
for watching
watching.
Point News.
See you next week.